Hi, Jonathan York from Bay Financial Partners, looking at the investment markets. Really pretty interesting situation developing now in these equity markets, especially in the US. You've got the US indices now pushing up at sort of new contract highs. It's going to be very interesting to see how that sort of pans through with the next sort of economic data coming out, and also the possibility of a Fed rate increase as well. Certainly the latest unemployment data was really pretty strong, and it's just going to be interesting now to see how that sort of filters through into the economy. Certainly the talk is now for potentially a rate hike before year end in the US, and then going into 2017 you possibly see 2 or 3 rate increases as you start to see a little bit of inflation starting to push through. That was evident in the latest employment report with an increase there in the hourly earnings. Certainly the BOJ, so there's been huge buys of ETFs on the Nikkei, and that's really just sort of pushing things up. And a lot of talk about sort of helicopter money, where basically you're just sort of printing money and trying to encourage people to spend it out there. Oil seems to be sort of plateauing and starting to push up a little bit as well. There's renewed talk now about an agreement in terms of supply coming through, and it's just going to be sort of quite interesting now to see how that develops to sort of year end, especially in the northern hemisphere as we obviously come into their winter. But certainly at the moment with oil around that sort of $45 a barrel, it looks like it should push on towards sort of 50 by year end at least. Obviously coming on the back of the rate cut last week from the Reserve Bank, taking the OCR down to 2%. Savers are sort of struggling a little bit out there for yield. If you are looking for other options out there, there are plenty to consider. Call us on 0800 867 323. Or go to the website www.bayfinancialpartners.co.nz. Here in New Zealand, a little bit of good news overnight for the dairy industry, with the dairy auction up around 12%. That's really come as sort of quite a good sort of relief out there, and it's just going to be interesting now to see if it can sort of be followed through over the next sort of 2 or 3 auctions. But certainly good news. Z Energy have a bond sort of maturing October this year. There's potential out there for a new bond to come through to replace that. And if you do have an expression of interest in that bond, say call us on 0800 867 323 or go to the website www.bayfinancialpartners.co.nz. Certainly a lot of talk out there about how much longer this sort of bull run in equity markets can continue. But I say, if you really look at the yields coming through, and especially here in New Zealand, compared with sort of fixed interest yields, it looks like it's still got quite a way to run yet. You've still got very accommodative central banks, and sort of fixed interest returns are probably half, if not less, than equity dividend yields going forward. So at the moment, there doesn't seem to be too much to be sort of stopping the equity bull run at the moment.